Uh-oh.
Why would Christians be using AIs? Warrior to the end. You about to find out.
Yeah, I think the reason that question's being asked is because so much of AI is associated to bots, right? It's just servers that don't know what you're talking about, that aren't real people, no scholarship, no trusted content, just churning out answers based on algorithm. That is not what this version of Logos is doing. Again, it's AI locked down in your theological library. And FYI, some of you are watching and you don't have old Logos. So you don't have a big library that is going to be brought into the new AI of Logos. We do, with each level of subscription, give you a pretty substantial library, 500 books, 600 books, because again, in Logos, you need books, real scholarship, in order to feed AI. So if you just start out at $10 a month or $15 a month and have no Logos whatsoever, you literally will get a substantial library again, so that your experience with Logos is a good one, because again, you need good content. But here we go. I'm going to click the search button. And if you have upgraded to the new Logos, which is now one of the subscription levels, you're going to see the little AI emblem there. Now, be mindful. When you open search, so again, I just click search, there's a lot of different searching in Logos. The all search would search not only everything you have, or in this instance, what I have, but also things that I don't have. Because sometimes if I'm doing a deep dive on, let's say, divine counsel, and I have all of Mike's books, but maybe there's other things out there that I don't even know about that Logos has available. So again, just be mindful. All is not only what you have access to, but what is available, again, the other resources. Bible would be specific to the biblical text. And here's one of the little secrets. If everybody could kind of raise your hand, and you know, I'm not going to share this with anybody yet, but we're going to bring AI to the scripture. Okay, meaning you're going to be able to ask very specific questions of the biblical text, and AI again will help you kind of find those answers. Okay, what you want to do if you upgrade the new Logos is you want AI again on your books, your library. So again, most of the time when I open up search, I go right here and click books. That's my library. If you've upgraded, you'll see the new AI emblem there. Now, what's great about the new Logos is the old Logos, it did fine if you typed one word, right? Resurrection, apologetics, inerrancy, you know, words like that. But the minute you started typing 2, 3, 4, or 5 words, that's when things got a little complicated and crazy.
It was keyword based. There was no reasoning behind
keyword
it.
based, keyword based. So now watch this. I'm going to say, what is a covenant? I'm asking a question again, the way that I would pick up the phone and call a scholar or someone that I respect in this field of study. So what is a covenant? And I'm going to hit enter. There are my results. I've got Erdman's, I've got an encyclopedia, I've got a commentary. And again, Erdman's, you know, I could click the header there and open up Erdman's. Okay, and there's the article. And it's 2-3 pages. But what if I don't have time to read 2-3 pages? Here's where AI starts showing up. Summarize. So I just clicked the summarize button, Jorge, and it summarized 2-3 pages and kind of gave me a paragraph. Sometimes it'll give 2 or 3 paragraphs. Sweet. But that is an amazing new feature, and everything I'm doing with AI is now on your mobile device. So when I go to search on my iPhone and I say, what is a covenant? I not only get the exact thing I was looking for, but I have summarization now on my phone. So look, I can read that article, summarize that article. I mean, I just summarized about 20-30 pages of content into a paragraph. All right, but here's where it gets good. Synopsis. Synopsis will pull 4, 5, 6 of the top resources in your library and kind of stitch them together in a synopsis. But here again is where our AI is better than anything else out there. We're citing where this came from. So notice the 1, the 2, the 3, those are the sources that those numbers refer to. There's the citations. And watch this. I hit the little copy button there, go to a word processor, hit paste, and again, there it is, all cited. Now, Jorge, my son, my middle son, just started seminary, and he is geeking out over the new Logos because he's got papers to write, tests to take, and all.
That's
he's
even
got to read it.
Listen, man.
And I was like, Chase, I love you.
Even
I
the
love you. I'm proud. But I was like, I kind of hate you.
right,
Because
because
I was
it made
like,
it so
I
easy for
can't,
him.
I was
Yeah.
like, I can't believe you get to roll through seminary with tools like this that cite the sources for you and everything, right? Now, that's great, but I'm about to blow your mind even further because it would make sense, Jorge, that I could type covenant, redemption, resurrection, big theological words. But watch this. Imagine the last time you and I were together, I came out, hung out at your place. I had just spoken at a marriage conference.
Right.
And there was 2,500 people, very, very large marriage conference. And I did my theological thing in AI logos, and everybody's like, oh, that's amazing, right? But watch what I typed for my second question. I typed, how can I serve my wife? Now, listen, that is a theological, biblical question, right? But you could never ask Logos a question like this before, right? So I'm going to hit enter now. Look what Logos did. Specific ways to serve my wife, things that to do to please my, I mean, if they're watching with their husbands right now, they're now saying, okay, you're getting Logos, right? I want this on your phone now. But how awesome that Logos now is not just helping me with my theological studies, it's helping me with questions about how do I raise godly children?
Yeah.
How do I
existential and essential questions that you can do the research for. Yeah. And sometimes you're paying hundreds of dollars to get an online course or to go and join some sort of class or to, buy a book or a subscription to, sit through 20, 10, 15 sessions where you gotta actually do the heavy lifting to get the nugget, the 1, 2, 3 nuggets, or pay for a marriage conference, because I've gone to several and there's nothing wrong with that, to get those 2, 3 nuggets where you can do it now in a fraction of the time.
Yeah, I probably one of my favorite parts of my job is I'm working with a ton of NFL players and actually quite a few starting quarterbacks, right? As you know, there are many starting quarterbacks that when they win the game and the mic go, they love Jesus and they're very bold about their faith. So I'm they are freaking out, Jorge, about the new AI and Logos, because it now is helping them with questions like, what does the Bible say about tithing? What does the Bible say about dating? Some of these are very young men, and again, starting quarterbacks with major teams. But that's what has changed the use of Logos for many of these players, because yes, I need to study the Bible and I need to get good, solid theological answers. But then to all go onto my phone, because this is part of the new AI on your phone as well, because you get it there, to type in things like, what does the Bible say about this, right? What is the Bible? How do I serve my wife? How do I raise godly children? And so on. I could go into the old Logos and type something like virgin birth, right? Because again, that's just a header that you'd find in a Bible dictionary or something. But I don't think, Jorge, that that's the question that a lot of people have when they're thinking about the virgin birth. I think the question is, and I'm going to change it, I'm going to say, why is the virgin birth important? This is an entirely different question, right? If I just hit enter when I type virgin birth, I just go straight to, again, Bible dictionaries and so on. But now I'm asking specifically, why is this doctrine essential? Right. So I hit enter and look at the synopsis, Jorge. It's because of this doctrine we know that we get the true humanity and divinity of Jesus, truly man, truly God. It's the fulfillment of Old Testament prophecy. This is where the new Logos is incredible, because I'm asking a very specific theological question. Now, listen, I want to just put this out there. I think, Jorge, and I know you're in apologetic ministries and work with a ton of apologetic ministries, which I think one of the reasons why we're seeing such a rise in deconstruction and people walking away from the faith is they had a good question about the Bible, about theology, and then they went to the wrong source. They went to, some random Google or some AI and got spit out some answer that was actually heretical. As a matter of fact, recently, Jorge, I went to the article on Wikipedia for virgin birth. I've gone to seminary. I have some pretty big theological guardrails up, right? So I was able to decipher the baloney. But a new believer, if they had read that article, they probably would have come out the back end thinking, oh, it's not really a big deal. It's not really that. I know everybody watching probably has some theological differences about something, but this is something we all agree on, right? This is a pillar.
Yeah. It's a fundamental. It's an essential.
You don't mess again with this doctrine. And so again, the fact that I now can ask Logos specifically, why is this doctrine important? And again, I still get all my great information here, kind of old Logos, but I love the fact that Synopsis again stitched it all together and kind of gives me a really solid biblical answer. And again, this is on your phone. So now let's switch it up.
Well, let me say something. Okay, let me say something there. So when using those synopses, so one of the things that actually was my wife was geeking out today using this, because yes, if you have Logos, you can share with your wife and your kids as long as they're under the same roof, right? And you and your wife can use it from here on to eternity, right? Because I'm sure in the new heavens and the new earth, we're going to have an even better version of Logos, right?
The ultimate AI.
It's going to be the ultimate AI, Logos Infinity, right? But and I don't want to say, I don't want to embarrass him, but he ain't going to have no place over there. All right. So what I was going to say is my wife was geeking out because we grabbed these summaries, the synopsis the Logos AI creates, and then we put them in a Word document. We give the kids the reference works where that came out, and then we have, and when I say my kids are 16 and 17, so they're teenagers. They should be able to do way more heavy lifting than when they were 10, 12, right, when it comes to theology. We grab the synopsis, and then these summaries are the starting point for them to then go learn about a topic. So this has revolutionized the way and even the time that me and my wife spend working through creating resources for them to study God's work, and then they can come in to Logos and then start using those resources and reading them and then being able to be ahead of the curve. Now, at the end of the day, you can be head smart and not have your heart connected to God, but this will force you to look at things deeper, because you will have a whole lot more time to consume more content and to be enriched by God's word and all the insights that the software pulls up for you. So I just wanted to say that this is just one of the many uses that I have been able to get.
Now, listen, I'm glad you mentioned that because, again, I've been at Logos 27 years, right? So this new version has caused so many great conversations between my wife and I. Just recently, we were kind of geeking out recently on the early church after Acts, the church fathers, Athanasius and all the councils, these men of God that fought heresy to the death. And I want to know, what did Ignatius say about this? And what did Athanasius say? And I'm able to type that question on my phone, because most of these conversations are just sitting in the living room and just sitting there on my phone. And I'm just absolutely blown away, Jorge, about how fast we're able to get answers to, again, very specific questions. So let me do a couple more. What is the divine counsel, right? What is the divine counsel? So I hit enter. And again, Synopsis pulls, now the reason why you're going to see Lexham all over the new version of Logos, every subscription level has tons of Lexham content, is because Mike wrote most of that content, right? This is one of the things that Mike contributed heavily to, is the Lexham content. So yes, I could go to the article there, again, get a brief description and so on and so forth, and then I get to Unseen Realm. But again, Synopsis kind of does the homework for me. Now listen, I do see a couple references, but then I've got other material. But this is where I can change it up, right? What if I just want to know what Mike said about the divine counsel, right? So now I'm going to change this up and say, what?
Scott, let's do something.
Hey, if there's anybody watching over 30, that's one of the greatest features of Logos.
That's it. That's me, baby. That's it.
One click, I can have large print editions of everything. But again, I initially asked, hey, what is the divine counsel? Got great answers, right? Got the links to all the content, could summarize. It's a huge new feature. But now I'm going to say, what does Heiser, and spell his name there, right, Mr. Scott, Heiser say about the divine counsel? This is something you could not do with old Logos. And again, now I'm only with Mike's content. And again, when I now open a synopsis, it's only Heiser's content being brought into Synopsis. This is kind of game changer because I can not only ask specific theological questions, but I can say, I just want to know what this person said about that. For anybody watching that has had Logos for a while, maybe attended the last live stream in January to start your year, or maybe the one we did in August, and you bought a lot of Mike's content, maybe his mobile ed courses, maybe the bundle of his resources, with the AI wrapped around it now, this is amazing, right? Yeah, I think actually did it the right way. Like, you really want a good sizable library and then bring AI into it, because again, AI is only as good as what you're feeding into AI. But I think you wanted to show, because I've kind of showed my, kind of setup on how powerful the new AI is.
So now I'm going to say, and I've been learning throughout my decade of doing live streams, is if somebody stay past the 40-minute mark, which is where we are right now, these are the ones that are truly interested. I noticed that usually people come in and out. This is a stream, it's not a pond. So people are going to come in and out. But those who have stayed at this point are very interested. And one of the things that I want to do is you gave us your pitch and somebody says, oh, no, this is an infomercial. And I was like, well, yes, because this is what we want to do. We want to inform you about this tool. And we have the blessed Nodrina. Mike did this with us multiple times while he was alive. So it's not something that we decided, we're going to hijack Mike's channel and do this. And this is something that we're doing for your benefit. You have absolutely the ability to have free will. It's not like we're sending some sort of mind controlling raid that is going to make you sign up. But actually, you can get and sign up for 30 days free of charge, test it for yourself, and then decide to make a full commitment later or not. That's up to you. Also, I want to show you guys real life application of how I use this to do my own research, right? Because I have, many of you guys don't know, I'm a full-time speaker for crossexamine.org. My lane is apologetics and biblical theology. I have a podcast called Rara Biblia, which means a strange Bible. I use a lot of Mike's content, a lot of Norman Geisler's content, a lot of Frank Turek content, who is my mentor, and the way the Logos has revolutionized my content creator journey. And it's one of the things that I want to ask you, Scott, at the end, is to show, for example, the sermon feature and the group Bible study feature, right? And a lot of people going to have good and bad comments about this. They're going to have negative and positive comments about this. But what I want to show you guys is the real life use that I do to this. So now, Scott, you got it out of the way. You show us kind of like the overview of all these features. Now I want to show people how I use this personally when it comes to Mike's content. Okay.
And remember, this is just AI for searching. Like, we're going to show AI in a lot of other places and Logos here in a moment. But this is, I mean, honestly, if this is the only thing, Jorge, that the new Logos did, I think, like, especially you get 30 days for free, like just done. Like, I want this on my phone because now you can find what you're looking for. But yes, we're going to show a lot more things where AI shows up.
Okay, so let me show you this real quick. So you guys are seeing my screen now. It's not Scott. So mine is actually beautiful night mode. Amen. Because that's how you should do it. And then I'm just going to go here to the search bar. So I'm going to open the search bar. As you can see right here, we have the little stars that let you know that is AI. Okay, so I'm going to go here, and one of my favorite topics of all time is cosmic geography. How many of you on the other side of the screen manage, understand, and are able to eloquently explain the cosmic geography framework that we find inside the Divine Council worldview, the Deuteronomy 32 worldview? Go. Put it on the comments, put it on the chat, and let me know if you understand the concept of cosmic geography and what is the influence in the biblical view of what we know as profane and sacred spaces. Okay, so here is an incredible tool. So that is one of my favorite topics. I talk about the Tower of Babel, talk about Pentecost, I talk about the disinheritance of the nations, I talk about Naaman the leper. Now I'm just going to paste it here. And the question is, how does the concept of cosmic geography influence the biblical view of sacred and profane spaces? Now,
and switch it to books so that you're just searching
just what books. You got. Okay, so just my books. So I'm going to go books and I'm going to click. Oh, no, I got it on precise. I don't have it on smart. So let me click it smart and I'm going to hit it. Boom. Oh, I didn't hit it. I didn't have the. Okay, now I had my keyboard on another computer. So now I'm going to bring it up and it gives me all this information. So it's about the pop out and incredible, the concept, and I'm going to read it out. Let me bring it a little bigger so you guys can see. I'm sure you guys are able to see it right now. It says, the concept of cosmic geography significantly influences the biblical view of sacred and profane spaces. According to one of the articles, this concept is rooted in the Old Testament portrayal of a world divided among cosmic geographical lines. It's like almost picking up the phone and be like, Mike, can you give me this answer? It says, Israel was considered holy ground, being Yahweh's inheritance, while other nations' territories belong to other Elohim, gods with little g, as decreed by Yahweh. This division reinforced the idea of sacred space, which was central to many of Israel's laws and rituals. The notion of sacred space extended to physical locations like the tabernacle and the temple were set apart as meeting places for God. In the New Testament, this concept evolves dramatically, with believers' bodies and gatherings places becoming sacred spaces indwelled by God's presence. That gave me chills right there, man. The cosmic geography puzzle. The cosmic geography perspective also explains some puzzling passages in the Bible and provides a theological backdrop for understanding Israel's relationship to other nations and their gods. I mean, the Elohims, right? These divine entities, divine beings. It's important to note that this understanding of cosmic geography was influenced by the ancient Israelites' limited worldview and should not be judged by modern standards of historiography. And here you see all the resources that we use, okay? All the resources that we use is right here. You can copy and paste it. And then again, it gives you all the others, pulls out from demons. It pulls out from supernatural. The interesting thing is also it pulls out from some of the online courses. They have all the transcriptions when Mike was talking and other scholars are talking about this. So I actually, Scott, when you texted me earlier, I was doing a live stream on Instagram and I used Logos AI to answer a bunch of apologetics questions. The topic was mainly hell. You know, is hell torment? Is it torture? You know, what about annihilism? What about the classical view of hell? And it made my live stream so much easier because as an apologist, you have to be ready to always give an answer for the hope that is in you. But now with this, my answers were not only better in a sense that I was able to be more thorough and to give people a follow-up resource, right, for them to be able to do this.